Hey guys, Thogden here, welcome back to a new video. Now today, everyone's been telling us, get on that championship content. Ever since you got relegated, you haven't touched it. Well now I'm putting an end to that. Me and THOGDAD are going to be ranking championship stadiums. It wasn't easy this, was it?
Very, very hard because there's none of them that I don't like.
What is the like target today?
The like target today is 3,000.
Ooh, championship content's back. We got to hit 3K, it should be an easy job. Make sure you follow THOGDAD on Instagram and THOGDAD. I bought him that for Christmas, by the way, the Duke of
How nice is this?
Show the back. THOGDAD9.
You're number 9 with the bullet header.
Talking about bullet headers, thank you very much for Headball for sponsoring this video. They approached me and I was like, this is the perfect brand deal. THOGDAD loves a header. To spice things up, the loser is gonna eat a chili.
This is a mobile football game that you can find on the App Store. You can play it against people online and your friends too by creating yourself a username and adding your mates on there. You can check out loads of different characters and you can edit your superpowers too in-game to help you win.
Oh no, come on, get in there. Come on, yes, come on. Nog it, come on, yes, yes. Back in the net side, have some of that. There we go.
I'm gonna use my special powers soon.
Okay, fine. Oh yes, get in there, son. Have some of that. Jumping into him, 2-1. Oh my god. You've used your special power. Oh, but it's ended up in my net. It's ended up
How did that? Yeah.
Your fireball. Guess what? I'm gonna use it back on you. Golden goal. Next goal wins. Simple as that. Loser, eat the chili. Oh, hit the ball. Okay, I played so bad here. Oh my god.
Oh, I've done it. I've actually beaten THOGDAD.
Right, I've taken the L. What have you got there, THOGDAD?
The loser at Headball gets to eat a spicy chili.
Alright, this is not what you want to be biting into right now. Headball, this is the things I do for you. When you take an L, you've got to firm it. Here we go. Oh my god. Oh my god.
He's had a chili. I asked them for the spiciest chili in the shop. The first club we're talking about is Barnsley in Yorkshire.
Okay. I mean, it is a bit of an old-fashioned ground, isn't it?
It is.
Was they made in 1888 or something?
Well, think about the Oakwell Stadium. You arrive at the train station, you have a lovely couple of beers in the town centre.
Yeah.
Then you've got this intimidating walk to the ground. And the ground, 23,000 capacity. I quite like it, but it needs a bit of modernisation. Put it 23rd.
I put it 19th.
The next ground, St Andrews, 29,000 capacity, Birmingham City.
Now, it's one of those grounds that we've been to before. When we went, the atmosphere wasn't the greatest because it wasn't packed. I put it in 17th.
It's a famous old ground, over 100 years old.
Yeah.
But like Theo says, these grounds need to be full, don't they? Birmingham City, I'm putting you in 16th place.
So very close between us.
Very close.
It's great on Derby Day,
though. Blackburn Rovers, Ewood Park in Lancashire. It's a very old ground, and I think it's time for a THOGDAD fact, isn't it? Back in the day, in 1929, Blackburn got their highest crowd ever, 62,500, against Bolton Wanderers.
94-95 season, the place must have been rocking when they won the Premier League. They do have a lot of history at that stadium. I've got to give them respect for that.
That's the trouble. You have a capacity of 31,000, but at the moment you're averaging 14,000. 15th place.
16th place.
Griffin Park, the home of Brentford.
They've been through the leagues. I've got respect for them. Matthew Benham's a great owner. He's run the club really well. Griffin Park's too small. It's a bit old. It's a bit shabby. Sadly, because they're moving out to a new ground, I can't rank this stadium currently high. So I put it bottom in 24th.
Ooh. And the reason they're moving is they realise they need a better home.
Exactly.
21st place.
We're going to Bristol City. We've been to Ashton Gate recently. They've got that new end that's really beautiful. They've got the ticket system is very modern. It's had a lot of money and renovation into the stadium. They've got the ultra section that's always making noise, creating an atmosphere. There's not much wrong with Bristol City and their stadium. They get big numbers. 4th place.
The new Lansdowne stand is really impressive.
I know.
And it's got solar panels on the top, so Greta Thunberg would be really impressed. You go around the ground, you've got music, you've got cider, you've got your Cornish pasties. I've put Bristol City's ground in 9th place.
What? After all those compliments, you put it in 9th place? Yeah. We both agree it's a lovely stadium. What's the next one?
Cardiff City.
Yeah.
The Cardiff City Stadium. Great name.
We've both been there. The atmosphere was average, but it is a nice stadium. I'm going to put them in a mid-table 11th.
It's a modern, imposing stadium. You've got the train station nearby. They've thought about the fans. Like Theo's just said, it's occasionally a little bit lacking in atmosphere.
Yeah.
7th place.
Oh, okay. Pretty high.
We're moving on to Charlton Athletic and the famous Valley.
I can say I was there recently. League One playoffs against Doncaster Rovers at home. I think it was like the second leg. They ended up winning in a penalty shootout to go through to the final, which they ended up winning, and now they're in the Championship. The atmosphere for that game was absolutely class, but I've also seen Charlton's atmosphere pretty dead. Because when they play like a team like Bolton, middle of the season, it was actually the game where Ademola Lookman started to go on everyone's books. Now he's in RB Leipzig, which is pretty mad.
You've not had a THOGDAD fact for a couple of minutes. Now in 1919, Charlton Athletic, they needed a new ground, but they had no money.
Okay.
So all the fans got together with their spades. They went down to the valley and they dug out an old sand and chalk pit and they put all the rubble on the side. So for years, there were no seats, there were no facilities. There was just this flat ground made by the fans, and the fans stood on the embankments. Now I think that's what football's all about. 13th place.
14th place.
Pride Park, Derby County. Surely this is one of the best ones, isn't it, Thea?
I agree, actually. Yeah, it's pretty good. When we were there, they smashed us 4-0 and Bolton went down. We lose to everyone, as I said. The stand next to us, when they were bouncing, they created a really good atmosphere.
Yeah.
9th place.
Every week, average about 27,000. So you get the atmosphere, don't you? 2nd place.
Wow. That is mental.
2nd place.
I think you just like a thing for white teams.
Keithy Jono.
He'll love you for that.
Craven Cottage, the home of Fulham Football Club.
There's nothing better than turning up to an away day in shiny summer of London, walking down the Thames, singing with the fans, maybe having a beer if you're over 18, having limbs when your team scores, and, you know, knocking on the wooden bottom of it. It's probably the most enjoyment I've ever had at an away day for a loss. 3rd place for me.
A Scottish architect called Archibald Leach.
Yeah.
And he designed Ibrox. He's an absolute legend. He did a lot of the design work for Craven Cottage. I nearly ranked this first, but you know what lets this down? The home fans have clappers.
Oh.
They've got clappers, yeah?
VAR, I've checked it, I've asked the assistant, straight red card.
Yeah. 3rd place, John Smith Stadium, Huddersfield.
If you didn't know, the designer of Huddersfield Town Stadium is also the same designer that designed the Reebok. I still call it the Reebok. Bolton's ground, basically.
Yeah.
And I actually really like Huddersfield Town Stadium. It's getting 2nd place, simple as that.
Any stadium named after a beer is going high in my list. You know that.
That's class.
This has a capacity of 24,000.
Okay.
And they're averaging attendances of about 22,000.
Not bad.
8th place. Hull City, a K-Com Stadium. I don't like the name, do you, Thea?
No, I'm not a fan of the name. I mean, the chant mauled by the Tigers doesn't help.
Yeah.
And also the fact that they don't fill it out. I know they've got a problem with their owners, which is part of the reason they don't go to the games, but it would be nice to see that stadium full. But it gets a downgrade for sharing the ground with a rugby team. That's a no-no for me. 18th place, but it is a modern ground, and it's okay. But we always lose there. We lost that 6-1 there.
Well, I didn't really notice the ground because I was too busy watching the fans doing this mauled by the Tigers thing. What's that about? 14th. Staying in Yorkshire, Elland Road, home of Leeds United.
The university's really good, the city's pretty nice, and the stadium, it's something to really take in. I mean, I've been there quite a few times, and the fans right next to the away end, like just on the corner, they're really loud and they're singing throughout the whole game. It's like having an away end at a home game. When you can create an atmosphere at a home game, you know your club's doing a good job. It's a massive ground, and you know they're trying to push for Premier League again, and I'm sure they'll get it eventually. A lot of you will agree with me in saying this. This has to be my number 1, 1st place.
There's so much wrong with Elland Road. Now, I know a lot of people put it first, but it's a 40-minute walk from the station to get to the ground, yeah? And you go to this rough area. You get messed around by the stewards. If you're an away fan, it takes you half an hour to get into the ground, yeah? There's so much wrong with Elland Road. And for those reasons, I'm sorry, Leeds fans, I'm sorry to my brother Stuart. 1st place.
What? What do you mean 1st place? You just dug into it, Dad.
Because despite all of that, once you get into that ground of 38,000 capacity, that's full. There's always 35, 36,000 Leeds fans. The atmosphere, that's what football's all about. This is a Premier League club that's in the wrong league. Luton Town, Kenilworth Road, capacity of just over 10,000. What do you reckon, Thea?
Well, you know, they're doing really well as a football club. They're going up the league. Let's be honest, the stadium needs work. There's that class photo of you going into the away end, going through a house. I mean, it's got that charm. I think that's quite cool. It's part of an away day. I like that. But come on, for a football stadium, I put it in 20th place.
It's small, it's dated, 24th.
Oh gosh.
Middlesbrough and the Riverside Stadium.
The big one,
capacity of about 35,000, and do you know what? They might be increasing it to 42,000.
Well, what are their average attendances like?
Average attendance is 19,800.
Then why would they improve it to 42? I don't know. Listen, I think on its day, this stadium can have a pretty decent atmosphere.
It just lacks atmosphere when it's not full, which is most of the time. So I'm putting it in 12th place.
On a big game, when it does have an atmosphere, it's a class stadium though, and it's big, and you've got to respect that. So I put it in 13th.
New New Den, capacity of 20,000, Millwall's ground.
For an away club to go there and try and get a win or a result can be quite difficult because of the atmosphere. But it's actually intimidating, 7th place.
Yeah, I've got huge respect for Millwall because they are a proper football team, but I've got a problem with the New Den.
Why?
And it's not to do with the club, well, it's to do with the policing. The fact that you arrive at the train station as an away fan, you are shepherded straight to the away end. Because one of the things that Thoggy and I like about going to a football match is meeting the away fans.
Yeah, that's true.
And your Millwall fans are assumed to be hooligans, and it's not true.
Yeah, not all of them are. Family Club of the Year.
20th.
Oh, Jesus, Dad.
Nottingham Forest, the City ground.
As much as Nottingham Forest, when I went there, was okay, the atmosphere was pretty decent. Quite a few of the games are cancelled. A Championship stadium should have a good enough drainage system to be able to deal with something like that. They're moving into a nicer, bigger ground. I think they might be renovating the same stadium. 22nd place.
No way!
Yeah.
That is shocking. Now, I tell you what, Match Day with Max is going to give you a dry slap.
Well, he'll give me a dry slap and then he'll realise, oh wait, we are moving into a new ground. It's simple. If they're redeveloping their stadium, there's problems with it. That's why it's there.
So I love the location. I love walking to that ground. 4th place, Preston North End, Deepdale. And before you talk, Theo, I think we need a little Thogdad fact. Deepdale, built in 1878, is the oldest continually used football ground in the country. In fact, in the world.
That's bonkers. We've had some good away days there. 2-2 draw. Sammy Amiobi scored. I like the ground. They were the first club to put money into saving Bolton, so I've got respect for that as well. 10th place.
Just feel a bit lacking in atmosphere. 17th. Loftus Road, Queen's Park Rangers. What do you reckon, Thuggy?
From the outside, it looks like a proper show. Yes, you could argue that it creates pretty good atmosphere, but having said that, there's a reason they're moving out. 23rd.
And you do get a decent atmosphere. But I tell you what, the legroom, Theo, is non-existent. 19th. Reading, the Medeski Stadium is only 21 years old.
Decent ground, could be I mean, you know what, for the fans that go, the atmosphere is still pretty good. It's 15th.
This is a ground that was built on an old household waste dump. It just feels a bit suburban to me. I'm putting it in 18th. Hillsborough.
Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday, built in 1899. Capacity of about 40,000.
And we were 1-0 down last time we went there until the last kick of the game. Aaron Wilbraham, Thogdad bullet header, bang, 1-1. Got really good attendances. 8th place for me.
We know this is one of the great grounds of the country, but we have to mention the tragedy of 1989 when 96 Liverpool fans were so tragically killed at the ground. 5th place.
Ooh.
Stoke City, it's now called the Bet365 Stadium.
Dodgy name, but having said that, I mean, it's a 30-minute walk from the stadium.
I'm going to give you a Thogdad fact.
Okay.
There's a legendary Stoke player, Sir Stanley Matthews, and his ashes are actually buried underneath the centre circle.
Wow.
Which I think is a wonderful, fitting tribute.
They used to be in the Premier League. I remember the days with like Arnautovic, Shaqiri, and now I like to see them go down the leagues. It's really sad, to be honest, and I wish them the best of luck. It is a good football club. Mid-table 12th place.
Good ground.
Yeah.
It's about the same age as the Reebok, 10th place.
Right.
Liberty Stadium of Swansea. Theo, what do you reckon?
Good ground. Like, I'm really annoyed because I haven't been there. And, you know, loads of Swansea fans have been telling me to go. Apparently the atmosphere is really good. I mean, the best I've seen of it is when Sigurdsson was scoring bangers and match of the day back in the day for Swansea. And the atmosphere looked cracking. Now, but I have seen a lot of videos of Swansea. It's a lovely ground. Yeah, I like the Liberty. 5th place for me.
Lovely ground. 6th. West Bromwich Albion. The Hawthorns is at 551 feet altitude. That makes it the highest ground in the country. Every week there's an average attendance of about 24,000.
And this year they've been brilliant.
Yes.
They're going to get promoted to the Premier League. They've got ballers like Pereira, Diane Garner, Charlie Austin's banging them in occasionally. Slaven Bilic is doing mad things for them, and he's taken on the challenge of bringing West Brom up, and it seems to be going in the right direction. Good attendances. 6th place. Where you got it?
11th place. Wigan Athletic, DW Stadium.
Derbies aside, I think even Wigan fans will admit the atmosphere at the home games is slacking.
Yes.
Like, it's not a good atmosphere. I've been there since a kiddo, away end, you know, with Bolton, and it's never been full, and the atmosphere's always been lacking. But I put it in 21st.
Also a rugby ground. Sorry, no disrespect to Wigan. You're not a football city. You're a rugby city, yeah? You always have been. I'd rather eat a pasty than a pie. 22nd. The light target was
3,000, just to update his own head.
3,000.
If we hit that, then maybe we'll continue Championship content. So it's the ball's in your court, guys. See you later. Bye, guys.